Welcome to Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is for Friday, December 12th. Happy 12/12 portal. And we'll be discussing the astrological energies that are unfolding over the weekend and into next week. But first, I wanted to start with some of the stories I've come across that highlight the astrology of our times. And there are many of them that are astrologically connected. I mean, the whole world, if you look at it, is in sync with the cosmos at some level. But here are a few things that stood out to me that I thought were worth mentioning. So we've been discussing the strong influence of Pisces energies for a few years now, especially since Saturn moved into Pisces in March 2023. And we know that now we are ending an important chapter on the planet as these two planets in Pisces are going to move on into Aries and stay there next year. Well, as these energies move through Pisces, we have big completions and big changes in the Pisces areas of our lives. And at a global scale, Pisces is glamour, entertainment, make-believe, your imagination. It takes us into other realms and other places and gives us things to escape into, right? So obviously, Pisces is Hollywood. And it was announced a number of weeks ago that the movie industry has had a terrible year and that October was especially horrific as the North American box office plunged to just $425 million, which is the lowest grossing month since 1997. And you think about how we don't need to go to the box office or the movie theater to get our entertainment anymore. It's just on our phones. It's on Netflix or a streaming service. And so this is part of the changes that are unfolding in the entertainment industry. Additionally, there's a lot shifting in where projects are filmed and how they're made. And that is affecting that job market, auditions, where people need to be to get a role, that there are fewer roles across the board. And I do know this firsthand because one of my family members is in this world. She goes on a lot of auditions. She's been successful. She's been in some big commercials. She's been on Jimmy Kimmel. She's done some things that have been significant projects, but she's also definitely felt the change in the industry over the past number of years. So just wanted to call that out because we're going to see more ongoing changes in the entertainment industry and how it has to adapt to our changing times. It also plays into the role of celebrity and what it means to be a celebrity or someone who is admired in the world. That is changing as well with not only social media, but our collective values moving into new places. So that is certainly the astrology in action. A second story I just came across recently occurred off of Miami Beach, where $28 million of cocaine was seized by the Coast Guard, and it is the biggest drug bust in that area, at least, since the mid-1990s. And that right there is a Saturn cycle, and Pisces is the ruler of drugs, addiction, the ocean. So this occurring on a boat off of Miami Beach, and Saturn is the authorities who made the drug bust. So this was just something I ran across that aligned with Saturn's 30-year cycle and with the Saturn and Pisces themes. And then finally, another story here is that Toyota has designed an autonomous walking chair called Walk Me. It's a wheelchair with no wheels. It's just 4 legs that either collapse or stand up and then walk. So obviously this is a solution for those who have mobility issues or are disabled. But can you imagine if you had one of these walking chairs and you come back to your desk and the chair is gone? The chair has just walked off. So yes, some very ingenious inventions happening here. You can check that out. It's called the Walk Me chair. It is basically a robot chair that will climb stairs and can take you places that wheels cannot. This is a Uranus in Gemini invention, as Uranus in Gemini is changing our transportation methods, how we move around our everyday life, our everyday world. And we can anticipate having more of these new innovative solutions coming to the forefront, especially next year. And so yet again, this just continues to demonstrate that astrology is showing us the key themes in the world at large. Astrology is active and alive. It's happening all around us, and it's up to our consciousness to connect the dots and to see how these energies are presenting themselves and showing up not only around us, but within us. So let's take a look at the astrological energies of this weekend as we're moving through the final week of Sagittarius season, which is still highlighting the ongoing squares between planets in Sagittarius and planets in Pisces. I did touch on this on Wednesday's show, but this is just an ongoing square between multiple planets asking you to remain adaptable. Do not make assumptions. Be open to a new possibility or new option. Understand that not everything is as it seems, and that it's good to trust what your intuition is guiding you towards more than ever, because the squares from Sagittarius are probably going to want things their own way, or assume to know the answers, or assume to have things figured out and operate off of that. And then we get these surprises that present themselves as, oh, I didn't see that coming, although when I think about it, I could feel it. My intuition was sensing something. So do keep that in mind over the weekend, especially because Mars in Sagittarius is squaring Neptune in Pisces at 29 degrees on Saturday and Sunday, which is a slowdown to those plans and what you had a lot of energy for. You might realize you want to cut back or decline, even that things don't go off as you expected them to. I'm thinking about like holiday plans and gatherings and events that maybe you're realizing I'm not really on board with that. I'm not as excited as I was when I said yes. There's things that I'd rather would not have to take care of and put energy towards. This is a weekend when you might realize I need more downtime. I need more of a break. I would just like to do less and trust the moment. So offering that in case it helps you plan for the weekend and what priorities you want to invest in. Mercury is now back in Sagittarius as of December 11th, and this re-entry has more movement and inspiration after what you've discovered, what you had to figure out after what was revealed when Mercury had that extended stay in Scorpio during the retrograde journey. Now Mercury is aware of a bigger truth and is empowered to put energy, plans, and details into place based on what you have figured out. Mercury in Sagittarius is sextiling Pluto in Aquarius for the third and final time on Saturday. This is happening at 2 degrees, 2 degrees of Sag, 2 degrees of Aquarius. And this is where you're seeing something with new eyes, understanding it at a deeper level. It supports empowered communications and discussions. It allows you to see the bigger picture that maybe you didn't previously acknowledge or understand. So this is a great day for being open to new concepts, understandings, plans, ideas, especially anything that was previously delayed, canceled, or forgotten during the Mercury retrograde energies in November. Something may come back around that makes more sense. It's a better fit, and the timing just makes more sense. The sextile to Pluto in Aquarius is future focused, highly creative, and advances a concept into a new direction with grace and ease. So basically there's good Mercury energy this weekend. So look at what is grabbing your attention and what is speaking to you. We also have the Sun in Sagittarius trining Chiron retrograde in Aries at 22 degrees this weekend. It is exact on December 14th, but the influence is also strong on Saturday. So that Sun in Sagittarius is bringing your attention to what lights you up right now. As the sun warms us, it expands our consciousness in Sagittarius. It wants you to understand more of who you are, what you believe, the experiences you've had, as well as the experiences you're creating, what excites you about the future, what your plans are, what elevates you, and what's giving you hope. But not only hope, but a good sense of trust in what's possible for you now and going forward. Now, this trine to Chiron retrograde in Aries at 22 degrees really directs that arrow, that Sun in Sagittarius arrow, to you, to what you've been healing and understanding about your self-identity. Chiron in Aries is showing us the parts of ourselves we are learning to accept more, to love more, how we're developing more confidence, to be exactly who you are, to be more authentic in your everyday world, and to also go into perhaps a hidden talent or hidden frequency you've been carrying that is coming to light. Now, one thing I really like about the Sun in Sag trining Chiron and Aries is that they are both connected to the Centaur. Sagittarius is a Centaur. Chiron is a Centaur. That is the half man, half horse being that is connected to various mythology stories. But let's go into this a bit more, because the fact that we have two centaurs in a trine is significant right now, especially when you consider that they are archetypal representations of being a bridge between the earth and the heavens, the merging between our earthly realities and the instinctual, intuitive nature that we tap into in the sky above us. Centaurs represent being in between worlds. They embody duality. They move between different realms. And so this is a strong theme right now. How are you bridging your earthly reality, your humanness, your healing journey with the bigger picture of it all, around what you're learning, what you're understanding about your unique gifts and capabilities that have you seeking to understand more and perhaps to look up and wonder what's next. So the Sagittarius energy is the seeker. It's the one who knows there's more out there for me to discover and explore. And the Sagittarius glyph is the centaur holding the bow and arrow. And it's about, where do I want to direct my fiery arrow towards? What is calling to me? And it can be very instinctual. There's a knowingness there, a very deep soul knowingness that this is the direction to go. Even though I can't fully explain it or understand it yet, I'm ready. I'm ready to find out as I trust that path. Then the Chiron retrograde in Aries energy is understanding what you want, what you believe in about yourself, what you're good at, what you love, and what you've been learning to trust in yourself. And when these two energies align this weekend, there could be a sense of, I'm going to direct my fiery arrow towards this endeavor, this plan, this next dream, because I want it. It has my name on it, and because my frequency has changed. And I believe that's really important about this Chiron retrograde in Aries. There's an acknowledgement of what you've healed or what you've been healing. And the mythology of Chiron is that it's never 100% healed. It never goes back to what it was before it was broken. Consider a bone. Sometimes you break something and you know it's healed, it's better, it's stronger, but it's not 100% again. It's like 99%. And the healing isn't just physical, it's emotional, mental, and psychological. So here we have this Chiron saying, yeah, I think I'm ready for this. I'm open, I'm available, I'm ready to go. I want this. This is the direction to head. It's calling towards me. And I can feel that fiery trine supporting this forward movement. So this is an energy that wants you to move ahead on your journey as you embrace what you have healed and what you've been learning about yourself. This could also be new courage, the courage to be brave, the courage to take a risk, the courage to do something simply because the energy is speaking to you and calling you that way. So stay aware of what comes up for you this weekend as that Sun in Sagittarius trines Chiron retrograde in Aries. Again, it's at 22 degrees of Aries, 22 degrees of Sagittarius. And you could have a shift in what you've been considering or pondering, and you're ready to put it into action and maybe even see some messages from the centaurs present themselves over this weekend. These confirmations to go for it and trust a portal or an opening of some kind that's speaking to you. So on that note, anytime we take action, we look at what Mars is doing. Okay, so I previously mentioned how Mars in Sagittarius squares Neptune in Pisces at 29 degrees. But then right after, later that night, Mars enters Capricorn. And this is a strengthened Mars. So basically you could have doubts, hesitations, or discouragement that presents itself before you make moves on what you want to do next. That Mars squaring Neptune can be a lull in the energy. It's self-doubt. It's questioning. It's, why should I do this? Is it going to happen? Is it going to pay off? Am I going to look foolish? Is it worth it? All those internal questions can come up. But then Mars moves into Capricorn, and there's a determination that arrives because Mars in Capricorn is where you understand what you want for the long term. You have energy for something that you want to create and experience because it matters to you in terms of the bigger picture of your life, your ambitions, your goals, what excites you about what you're building and developing. So this Mars in Capricorn is practical and strategic, has a plan or has an understanding that I can't waste energy on this. I have to work with what I have, honoring time, limitations, and boundaries. But when I do work with those components, this is what I can move ahead with. This is what I can take care of. So there's definitely going to be a focused energy as next week begins, as this Mars in Capricorn takes charge, takes command, and leads something. Very powerful leadership energy, whether that is leading others or simply your own self-leadership. This Mars in Capricorn is going to break through anything that's been uncertain, overwhelming, or hazy and show you the plan. This is what we do now. This is what we do next. This is how we strategize it. This is how the operation's going to work. And we're going to stick to it until we get it done and reach our goal. There's fortitude with this Mars in Capricorn. There's no nonsense. And there is support here for what you're ready to move ahead and move to the next milestone. I think of Mars in Sagittarius as being on a sabbatical, right? Taking a break. I need to get out into the world. I need to go to these countries or just explore some things over here. I don't want to be tied down or held back. Just let me live my life and let me go have some really cool bucket list experiences. Then when Mars moves into Capricorn, it's back to the desk. Okay, I did that. Now I'm ready to focus. I'm ready to make moves, get some things done. What do I want to accomplish? I feel this Mars is going to end 2025 on a very strong note. And you have to compare it to how we started this year with Mars retrograde in Cancer, retrograde in Leo and in Cancer, I should say. So Mars was on the opposite side of your chart as 2025 began. Now we close out this year and enter into next year with a strong Mars in Capricorn who is reprogrammed, renewed, very ambitious, more alert and clear than he was when the year started. And you could be sensing that in yourself, that whatever has unfolded for you, especially through the Mars journey of this year, Mars is now in a strengthened position in the Capricorn areas of your chart, ready to get some business done, accomplish this year, feeling strong and good about his capabilities and goals, and then takes that into the new cycles of the new year. Mars is exalted here in Capricorn. So his power is showing up through discipline, self-respect, and hard work. And maybe there's something that you are coming into contact with within yourself or in the world at large over this next week that shifts your focus to what this Mars in Capricorn prioritizes. Meaning, you could have things that just fall off. You're like, yeah, I don't want that anymore. That's not a long-term priority. That isn't paying off. It's not bringing about the results I want. You could have a new appreciation of time as well with this Mars in Capricorn. So I'm feeling like this is going to be a positive shift overall and that you're ending this year feeling stronger and more focused. So those are the main astrological energies over this weekend and how we will begin next week as we approach the Sagittarius New Moon on Friday, December 19th. That is happening at 28 degrees of Sagittarius, conjunct the galactic center, no less. And also when we will be experiencing more of the effects of Three-Eye Atlas as it makes its closest connection to Earth. So we'll be talking about that next week. Next week could be a time when you are sensing more is shifting and evolving within you. You have more ascension symptoms going on that could feel ungrounding and confusing, but it's it's also beautifully expanding us into new capabilities. In fact, I have a video for you on YouTube discussing the upgrades that are underway at this time as more of our energy frequencies are evolving because of these external influences. So please check out that video, as it might assist you in understanding what you're experiencing and why it's happening right now, but also the beautiful gifts that we're also calling in with these galactic influences. Wishing you a beautiful weekend here in December. As always, thank you so much for joining me and for making time for this podcast. I look forward to connecting with you again next week, and I look forward to connecting with many of you on Saturday for the presentation of Ascending Between Eras. I will be live at 2 different times to honor the different hemispheres on our planet. So hopefully you can catch it live when it works for you. You will not be on camera. You don't have to worry about that. But I do hope that you enjoy it. And of course, a replay will be available. So wishing you a beautiful day ahead. Take good care, and I'll see you back here soon.